So first of all, what's a cartoon in my terms, and how does it differ from what I call proper art? People do occasionally ask me if I do proper drawings, and I always say that I only ever do improper ones. So I think the idea of a cartoon is that in a few lines it's trying to capture an idea of something. It's not trying to capture a realistic drawing, whereas a trained artist might draw the shapes. I've found when talking to other cartoonists is that we tend to draw the feel of it. You kind of get in the, it's difficult to describe, but basically any cartoonist who's drawing an expression will almost invariably be pulling that expression, which is quite embarrassing when you work in a newspaper office, because the journalists think you're suffering some kind of fit in the corner. So if I'm trying to draw a dog, I'm not going to do a realistic dog, I'm just going to do something that looks dog-like. If you think of Snoopy and things like that, it's just very simple. There's your dog. So the other thing that I think a cartoon ought to have is some character. And if you look in children's comics, or a lot of the animated films, particularly the CGI things that are around, you can see how much character is just in the face. So it's basically an expression. And then we've got movement, because I like it if a cartoon can look as though something's going on. It's got some action. And then, if you're lucky, you might even be able to work in a joke. So I won't, because there's one or two we already know, I won't ask you what this is. One of our local dog breeds, the skateboarder collie. And if it's a bad joke, we make sure that it's a cute drawing of an animal. So you're basically trying to do something which is simple and isn't trying to be realistic. I would like to draw on a sheet of paper 20 very simple faces, a circle, a nose and a mouth. Make them all the same. Try and make them all the same. No production lines allowed, so you're not allowed to do that. You've got to draw each one like that as it comes. I'll just ignore that. And the idea is to draw them as fast as possible, not worry what they look like, not worry if any of them have gone wrong, and don't worry if they vary, but try and make them similar. Starting now. How many? 10. 20? How many have you done 20? Anyone done 20? You've got 23 and a half. Very good. Anyway, see, they all vary a little bit. They're looking pretty similar. They look related. Show up. Tricky to see that one. Can we see that? There we are.
Oh, very neat.
Ah, no, they vary a little more. Head shape, and just moving the mouth a little bit causes, like this one, that one there. Oop, no, stop it, that one. How many of you are left-handed? 1, 2. Two. Okay, I would like you to use your right hand. Everybody else, have a go at drawing 10 faces with your left hand. With the right hand, no, left hand. Here is the the original set done with the dominant hand, and then here's the set done with non-dominant hand. It's still very good. So that's the dominant hand, and then this side is the non-dominant. So again, I think they're better actually.
I think they're better.
Can you guess? Can you guess which ones are drawn with the non-dominant hand? But I like this one in particular, that one there. It looks like it's been in a fight, as indeed does that one. But they're fun.
Look a bit sozzled, doesn't it? Look at the cat across the top.
Draw it up. You just copy what I do.
Okay.
I'll draw it down. So a quick all-purpose box terrier. So what we're doing for that is we're just looking at basic shapes. A lot of what I do isn't about shapes. You know, if a traditional artist would look at four cylinders, one behind the other. Traditional art quite often breaks that up into those shapes. Well, that's not really what's there. Cartoonist breaks it up into that sort of thing. We try to. And it's the same with, so you get a more three-dimensional feel to it. You can do the same with this front thing. Because although you're drawing it out of a box, another box, a circle, a couple of triangles, a few more triangles, keep it simple. There's your dog thing, there's your box terrier. Very, very simple. If you do this scribble thing, don't worry about taking a pen off the paper for this. But you curve the lines a bit, you scribble it around a bit. And of course, if you traced over the top of that, you could pick the lines you want to make it more realistic, but don't be too careful about it. So that's more scribbly, but it should, I hope, have more life to it. The one on top is more precise, perhaps, in terms of clean lines, but one underneath, it's got more character because he's gone wrong. Drawing at the top looks very prim and proper. The one underneath, he's strutting his stuff. I like backgrounds because I always think they're safe. There you go. So I like that one. The one behind, actually they both got character. I really like the bottom one, you really fill it out nicely. But you can draw people very, very simply. And rather than doing stick figures, I will quite often just do, something like that. You can populate the picture. I did a job for Reged, the visitor centre at Penrith. It's not there now, but I did a map of the inside of it when it was in the entrance. And we wanted to show some little people, but we didn't want realistic people. So lots of little, basically chest pawns with legs all over it. And if you do a whole crowd scene like that, very quickly, you've got the beginnings of something, but it's just enough to give you a sense that something's going on. And I want you to draw a crowd scene. Loads and loads of little figures. But look at all the different faces. That's a crowd having fun. Well, the character bottom left appears to be sneezing an octopus. Apart from that.
Well, all the writers, moving padding on pen.
Yeah, it's good fun, isn't it? So what I've been doing today is not altogether about cartooning. It's not to make you into cartoonists, but it's hopefully to let you loose like cartoonists and let you do your own thing like cartoonists do. Because every cartoonist is different. You look in Private Eye in particular, because a lot of the cartoons in Private Eye aren't finished bits of artwork, they're very scruffy. I've had cartoons in the eye that were really just rough and never intended. There was a cartoonist called Larry who used to do all cartoons for Punch, and the editor actually told him to stop sending the finished artwork and he'd publish them else. That became his style. He became known for this wobbly, quick style. And did the cartoons in 10th of the time as a result and made more money. So there's immense benefit in just going for it and not worrying too much. So I hope this will help feed into your proper art. And if you feel like doing some improper art, I've given you the tools to do it. Thank you very much.